This broadcast, we're going to be doing a little um, recap on creating an affidavit. And I would like to share something that, in addition to the information that we provided you on the previous video concerning affidavits, um, we discussed what an affidavit is. Now, what we did not discuss in depth was the components of an affidavit. And um, the different types of information that is required, that is or is not required to be qualified as a bill of exchange, or to be qualified as a um, presentment, or to be qualified as a um, say, for example, if you wanted to use an affidavit to um, solidify a debt. I apologize. He was saying in his video about saying a lot, that it can be annoying. Okay, so I'll try to not to say that a lot. Um, that's one thing that I learned from watching his videos, and he was in the video trying to practice not saying and in between speaking and clarifying what he was trying to relay in his content. And so, since I noticed that the video content that I have had to edit in the past was because I noticed that I was saying um um and 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 I just kept saying that a lot, to the point it was annoying me. So I edited the videos, but what I didn't edit was my behaviors. So I'm keeping having to edit a lot because, or I have not been conscious of the fact that some of my videos contain a lot of what that's called as dead air space, sort of, in broadcasting, where you're not really saying anything. You're just putting a placeholder there, and it's not a placeholder that can be considered as liquid or flowing through the content. It's something that's like a placeholder that's, um, you know, something that's in the way, like a cone or something that's in the street and it's in the way. It's annoying. And you can't even see what the purpose of it being there. It's just, so it makes it annoying. If you can clearly see that there's a pothole there, then, you wouldn't be annoyed as much by, one cone being there, and you going down the street, see cones down there. You wouldn't be annoyed by that. But if you see potholes, I mean, you see no potholes, just random cone. I've seen people run over the cone because they felt like it didn't serve any purpose. And so, with that being said, I will try to make the content more um, um, pliable, by eliminating the use of, the, there I go, by eliminating the use of that, to when I can't think of the particular words that I want to use at the time, I will pause. Sometimes people probably wonder, why is she pausing? Because I don't want to keep saying so I will pause and think of how I want to articulate what I'm trying to say. With that being said, thank you all for joining me. We got a lot of new subscribers. To us, it's a lot because we appreciate everyone. 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 And so we are up to 87 subscribers at this time, and we appreciate you all. We gave out a participation, a $25 participation gift earlier. And so, just so everyone that's online, we have 6 people online right now. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to be talking about affidavits. And if you have any comments or questions, okay, please leave questions in the comment section concerning the content so that we know and provide you with the information you ask for instead of just giving you random things that we know that you may need, but you may not be ready for that particular content just yet. We need to know where y'all are at as far as understanding what your rights are. We had one question that said, do you know what constituent rights are? And that's because people, I mean, for one thing, they hear things, but they just assume sometimes that it sounds familiar, sound like I might know what it is, or it sound like I could, it may be just common sense or self-explanatory. But what everybody will be learning on this platform, and when I say everybody, and that includes me, that includes anybody who think they know it all or know a lot of things. Trust me, you do not know enough to think you can't learn anything from this channel. You have not experienced enough in life to think you can't learn anything from on this channel, because we have produced and provided information in its simplest terms, and people don't understand what in the hell is being presented to them. So in that regard, if you don't understand, for example, what the word person means, and you think you know what the word person means, and I want you to drop your definition in the comment section. Some people have patronized other people's channel, and they have gathered enough information to have a clear and concise understanding of what a person is. And so if you can help the other people who are just now learning these processes, or learning that they even have any rights, or learning um how to uh, properly read, because that's what we're learning here. We're learning how to properly read and write. And people say, well, we went to school for that. We don't need no YouTube channel. We adults. We don't need to learn how to read and write. Well, guess what? If you adult that don't know what constituent rights is, then you are an adult that don't know how to read and write. And what I mean by that is, and that includes me, is that we are not dumb to the common English and understanding of those words. We don't lack understanding from that perspective. But because that is the only perspective that we are familiar with, that's what makes us dummies. Because words are like diamonds. They have different facets, they have different sides to it, they have different understanding. Even, for example, the same word may mean something totally different in another country, and it's the same word. They're using the same word, but they don't mean the same thing by that word. I'll give you a good example. My uncle was from Nigeria, and when we, you joke around and you say, "Oh, you silly," because he would joke a lot, and you say, "Oh, you so silly, Unc," and he would say, be very offended. He would stop laughing and smiling, and he would get really serious. And he would say, "Don't say that. Don't say that. Why do you say this to me? This is disrespectful to your elders." And I didn't understand why he was so abrasive with me all of a sudden. It was like I had cursed him out. Well, in his country, in Nigeria, he said when they use the word silly, it's like saying a person is stupid and don't have no, um, like when we say a person is ignorant, or if we say a person is, let's see, dumb. So he didn't take what I said the way a person in America would have taken it. They just laughed off. We'd have laughed off and kept on going. But that goes to show you how you can create an offense with words simply because you used the wrong word. In the regard of filling out any or drafting any affidavits or filling out presentments and so forth, if you use the wrong words, you can create a problem. You can create a problem as to the aspect that you're wanting them to receive the coupon, but you marked all over it. Now it looks like they committed some type of fraud, and everybody on YouTube is telling you that, oh, they didn't send it back to you because they took it and they traded on it. Sometimes they just shred it because they don't want to be responsible for it. And they don't have a procedure, inter-office procedure to return it. And they have a shredder there. And they've been instructed to just shred it. And they do shred it. People say, they told me they shredded it. I don't believe that. They done went and traded on it. Well, they see, when you just got accusation, you don't have no proof. That's where you get in the wrong. That's where you create an offense. That's where you have now committed an offense. They can counter, even if they are in the wrong, they can counter sue you for. For example, making a false accusation that you have no evidence to back up. None whatsoever. First of all, you said that they didn't send you no money, but you sent back the money with you wrote all over it. You wrote all over the check they sent you and stamped it and put all kinds of stuff somebody else told you to put on there. That's why when I first started learning about this process, I didn't fill out nothing until I understood enough to fill out something. And then when I did fill out something, I stamped all over everything. I stamped and I filled and I stamped and I wrote and I stamped and I filled and I wrote and I stamped. I did that crazy shit too. Okay? Because it just felt free. I just felt free to say, like, F you. And I hadn't learned enough to know that they hadn't done nothing to me then, because I was listening to people on YouTube that was misinforming people. So I would dare not get online and inform somebody of something and I'm not fully knowledgeable of what's what. The reason why I chose to get on here and help out in this area is because people are misinforming people. People are not caring and they're irresponsible with the information, so forth, as far as they'll purposely give you a piece of the information so that you keep, coming to their channel, getting a little, trickling the information so they can juice you for money and make you feel like, look, this is just too much. I'll just pay you to do it. That's what they want. But what you gotta understand with me, baby, I don't want to fill out your paperwork. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do nothing. All I want to do is help. Help people to have a firm foundation when they're beginning their processes of um, declaring their independence. And that's what it's called. You declaring your independence in a sense. It's not saying, okay, you gonna be your own government. You got military, you got uh, medical, you got all the stuff you need for your little tribe. Okay, and if you are not trying to do that, then all of these processes about birth certificates and all this other crap, I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. I said I don't think because I'm not sure, but I haven't found any. Seen a lot of people say, oh, it's because of this and it's because of that. Such and such said it's because of this and such and such said it's because of that. However, one, it don't make sense yet. Not yet to me. Okay. As far as um, now authenticating the birth certificate, I am going to do a process of, you know, my own that I am going to process with the birth certificate because of another process that I found out, and I'm just going to um, do that way. But if you're trying to draft documents, affidavits to say, okay, I no longer want to pay this bill type of documents, that's one. It's called a condition of acceptance. All right. That's one type of document. If you want to uh, do like uh, a contract by using the postal mail rule, that's called an affidavit of estoppel. It doesn't have to say affidavit of estoppel at the top. It would be good to have that in the title, okay? Because that's their language. That's what they understand in the courts, okay? If you should have to take the case to the courts. But that's the reason why you would be drafting the document in the first place. It's like an evidence, type of document. And so the reason why you would want to word these documents totally different from each other because of the purpose of the document, what you're going to be using it for. In a claim for contract by postal mail, you are creating a contract by telling the person, if you receive this, soon as you receive this through the mail, according to the postal rule, it don't matter if you want to agree to receive it or not. It was sent certified and it's already been signed by signature, and according to the postal mail rule, it is automatically accepted. It's considered by law as accepted. Now, they can, and this is what people don't understand and need to understand. When you send somebody an offer, they can do two things. They can ignore your offer because even though you saying, oh, this is a letter of demand for payment, and that's another thing, people don't even put those words on there. It would be helpful if you're trying to establish that the person owe you money, that you put on there. That's the affidavit of estoppel. I know I'm going back and forth because it's relatable information. Some of the documents require for you to um, go into detail and say, I'm sending this because, you know, whatever your reason is for sending the instrument. It's called an instrument, okay? And so, whatever your reason is for sending that instrument, you need to have all the bells and whistles for them to know what type of instrument it is, and then they can process it from there. I actually practice now after I overstamped and did all of this kind of crazy stuff at first. I took time I'm taking time still now to learn more and more and why certain people do all those things. Where did they get that information from? Did they misinterpret it? Or are they absolutely correct? Because people will say stuff about people doing things like that, but that's a unique document that he created. And he's allowed to create a unique document. It doesn't matter what you do with yours. He created a unique document. It doesn't mean anything as far as it may not. You don't know, because if you don't know all of the different forms of instruments that you can create with the bill of exchange, then you really can't say if his presentment was correct or not. And so we're going to watch and see what is correct and what isn't correct. We're going to critique it a little bit so we can learn as well, to not to make the same mistakes or to find out if it was indeed a mistake or not. Let's go.
And mail it. I get stacks of mail, y'all. It's crazy. I still get a lot of mail from y'all. I try to answer a lot of them. But look, from today forward, I am not going to accept any more registered mail or certified mail. Went down to the post office this morning, and there was a letter. I'm going to show it to y'all. I blacked out addresses because that's why the trust video, the first one, was removed. I used my driver's license, showed everybody my driver's license, and it had the address on it. That's how most y'all know the address, or if you've seen it on one of the other documents of the videos they haven't taken down yet. But this one here was sent to me from, and I'm going to say your name, dude. I'm not going to say your street address, but he addressed the return as Angel, actually it's colon, Angel hyphen David, colon, Delgado, comma, beneficiary and trustor. Okay, so when I see this stuff, I'm thinking, okay, this is the letters from somebody wanted to contact me, make sure I get it. So I accepted it. And it's from Hainsport, New Jersey. And, he's made these little tags. It's got my name on it. Well, my trust name on it. And my human person, my sentient being name. And he did the same thing, hyphen Christopher, or colon Christopher hyphen Allen colon Hauser, doing business as Christopher Allen Hauser, all caps, and Christopher Hauser Study Group et al. All right, now this guy here is one of them dumb some bitches, okay, and I'm saying this, David, Delgado, Angel, you're a dumbass. You're a complete fool, and you haven't paid attention to a damn word I'm teaching people. I've responded to a couple of your dumbass comments, and I even explained to you that it wasn't me. Listen, y'all, this is another fool who's gave some money away to someone who claims to be working with me. And I'm going to show you the letter this freaking idiot wrote. Yeah, I'm calling you an idiot. You're a dumbass. And I'm even going to hold this up for y'all. Here's the first page. Okay, you guys can screenshot this or whatever. But look, man, the guy puts a peace flag right here. Then he puts the war flag. And then he does some kind of bullshit with the stamp, okay? Look, y'all, this is dumb shit. This is something somebody's teaching out here. You got to use this stamp. And you got to sign over it with certain colors and shit. And this clown is using the beneficiary signature. Now, do you notice that? B-E-N-E? He did it in all caps. That's an acronym, folks. That's an acronym. That doesn't mean shit. Unless you go ahead and state it above it. What the acronym means. This isn't abbreviation for beneficiary.
Okay.
It's capital. Actually, you don't even use a capital B. You can lowercase all that. B-E-N-E period. And that's the abbreviation. Ask freaking Googles. Hey, Googles, what's the abbreviation for beneficiary? It's not capital B, capital E, capital N, capital E. Okay? This guy's a freaking idiot. He's learned some shit from half a dozen gurus, probably. And he's learned some shit from watching my videos. And he's mashing all this shit together. And it doesn't mean a damn thing. Okay? Now I'm gonna read this to you. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Notice to agent is notice to agent is as notice to principal. Right? We've all heard that. Look, you don't need to do all that. You don't. You don't need to do all that. You just send it to him certified mail.
Don't it depends.
You don't need to notice the principal and all this crap, because it is. If you use upper and lowercase of my name and then you use all caps, you're noticing the agent and you're also noticing the principal. And I'm not an agent. A beneficiary is not an agent.
Right.
The trustees are. An agent is, if you look up the definition of agent, it says that an agent is an actor. I am not acting as anything as a beneficiary. I am the beneficiary. I don't have an LLC or any bullshit like that. And this is the kind of clown shit that people do. Okay? It says date 10/7. 2020.
Hold on. Okay, we gonna just, talk about this a little while. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you all coming in. Um, oh, we when he said he's not an agent, what he's referring to is if you apply to get a business, okay, and you go to your Secretary of State and apply to start your, you already perhaps got a DBA for your business. That's the doing business as name. Okay. Once you do that, your next step in creating a business would be to get a, a corporation or business status. There are different types of business forms that you can fill out to for them to categorize what type of business you have. They have different types of business codes that apply to each type of business. And what they're going to do when you apply to or try to register your business, they're going to ask you questions pertaining to the type of business that you are registering this name under. One reason is if you got the same name similarly situated to someone else who is in the same category, it will reject it because it causes a conflict with the names being similar in the same category. If you want to register a business name as it that's a different category of business, but you have a similar name to someone else, but it's a totally different category, it's very possible that they may let it fly. Okay. Now, just because they let it fly, it doesn't mean that the person with the similarly situated name can't take action against you for using the name. Because once you um, get the name, you were supposed to have already made a search to make sure that the name was available. It's kind of like when you sign up for Google, you sign up for Facebook or any other social media platform. If someone else is using that name, it'll tell you that that name is not available and that you need to um, try to, alter your name that you want to register with them under a different name because somebody done already registered under your name. Now, for me, I will go in and find out who got my names because my name is very unique. And so I'm going to have a problem with that. Okay. But if you're using some type of generic name like our name is Essentials and people have ran and got channels called Essentials before we were able to get in that particular platform to establish our entities. So they've already taken up the word, okay, not our business name. They have taken up the word use, the use of that word, okay, because 10 chances of one, if you have a unique spelling of your name, nobody will have already taken it anyway. If you have a trademark type of name that's very unique in its character nature. So I'm seeing all that to say this: how you sign also depends on what type of document you are signing. For example, the type of document that he is critiquing was supposed to have been a contract letter of estoppel. In other words, it's supposed to intended to force him into a contract of obligation. And say, you got to pay me because I sent you a letter saying that you owe me money and you didn't respond in so many days that now so you owe me. You didn't rebut it, and so you owe me. And so that's what type of letter this guy supposedly have sent, and he's critiquing it and saying, no, it's really just an example. It's not um, the guy trying to say, okay, well, Chris owe him money for real or anything like that. He's giving an example of how he would send a notice to call a loan due, or say that a person has an outstanding debt, or if some people refer to debt as obligations. So let's move right along. I don't know if y'all even following what I'm saying. I can't see no comments or anything like that. Y'all, please forgive me if I'm rambling on. I'm doing the best I can to try to be clear and concise and fill in the blanks on this content. Let's get it.
From colon angel hyphen, pardon me, hyphen, or from colon angel hyphen David colon Delgado, comma, beneficiary and trustor. Now, see, he actually wrote beneficiary in upper and lowercase. And he's a trustor. You are. This other abbreviation shit, I don't have no idea what that means. I'm gonna tear this apart for you, Angel. I'm gonna tear this apart for you. I've also blacked out your street address because I don't want YouTube to take this down. But I am going to point out that you, and I guess Dorcas, whoever Dorcas Iris is, I'm assuming that it's probably your spouse because you got her name wrote out like yours with a Delgado hyphen Schaefer. I'm assuming that's her family name for she married you. As a beneficiary and trustor. Okay? 2, via certified mail return receipt. And it's all the numbers that are on. I should check this. Actually, no, it's not. Because these numbers don't match. Okay? Certified mail return receipt. Right? See that? See that right there? 7022-3330-0002-1724. Okay? He sent this certified mail.
So how did he get the
look at this one.
Before
this is what it came in. Okay? Is that the number I just said? Let me hold it up here.
Oh, he must have just wrote the number, got the number.
Is it the same number? No, it's not. You fool. You're a fool, dude. So I never got nothing sent certified mail. That blows your shit before you even get halfway down the first page. And then they put Christopher hyphen Allen and all that. That's right here. See that? I'm trying to hold it in the light so you guys can see all that. Down to here. Take a close look at that right there. That's the email address. Okay? That's how I know this idiot who doesn't understand what I've already said to him in the comments. That's not a ghost or a spirit flying above me. It's a piece of dust. In case y'all are wondering. It says sent via certified mail return receipt. and it's not the number that was sent. That blows your crap straight out of the water, first off. Whatever it was you were attempting to do here, fool. Christopher-Allen Hauser, doing business as Christopher Allen Hauser and Christopher Hauser Study Group et al. On Telegram. Okay? Maybe this guy went onto the Telegram channel. Look, guys, I haven't got on Telegram in months because it's a wreck. I would suggest everybody that's on there get off. I tried to shut it down a second time. They won't let me do it. So I'm not endorsing any Telegram channels, any of them groups. There's only one group that I do endorse, and that's a Facebook study group. And I'm not even on, I got rid of my Facebook account. Because there's over 5,000 subscribers, or 5,000 followers. I got rid of that because I couldn't even enjoy Facebook with my family members. So this guy does all this, puts my address, and then he puts my Proton Mail address. He writes Christopher. He's got the address as Christopher Allen, A-L-E-N, not A-L-A-N, Hauser at proton.me, M-E, dot, okay? Look, my Proton account, that's not my Proton Mail account. If you guys are out there and you're going into Proton Mail, here's my Proton Mail account. It's shit. What is it?
I'm gonna have to look there.
I think it's this got me so fired up, man. I can't remember my Proton Mail. It's listed in my comments. Not my comments. Well, I listed my comments quite a bit. It's Chris Hauser at Proton Mail at protonmail.com. Chris Hauser, protonmail.com. Not Christopher Allen, A-L-E-N, Hauser at proton, period. M-E. So you got that all screwed up, bro. This is another idiot who was too dumb to freaking do the shit themselves. They're going to get sucked in and give somebody some money. And wait till you see what this clown has done. And then they put via certified mail return receipt, right here, 7022-0410-0002-5761, and put this Kimberly, I think it's Higgins, right? From Everett, Massachusetts. Okay. I wish I could give you her address too, because first off, I don't work with anybody named Kimberly. Higgins. I don't know anybody from. They live on Main Street of Everett, Massachusetts. I don't know anybody. They put doing business as Kimberly Huggins, 1099A, Grant Administration for Christopher A. Hauser and Company. See that? That is somebody that's scamming. If any of y'all know this lady lives on or has a business on or is writing from Main Street, Everett, Massachusetts, I would say go do something to her, but I can't say stuff like that. But if you're dealing with these people, stop, because I don't know them, nor do I have any connection with them. And I'm going to finish this up with some other stuff that has to do with that. And then once again, he uses the Proton Mail. Okay. Actually, it's not Proton Mail. It's Proton, period, M-E, period. I don't even know if that is anything. To be honest with you, right? And see, here's the thing, man. You want to be a beneficiary and you want to be a sovereign and all this shit. And what's the first thing you do? Try to use the legal system.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know, Angel Delgado, you're totally freaking screwed. You think that you can be a free man on, on the land and be a beneficiary and everything, and then turn around and use their system to do whatever it is you think you're trying to do. This is an affidavit. This is the second page that was sent. Right? This is an affidavit of non-response and dishonor. Dishonor has to do with the courts system.
Right.
They're not telling me shit because I'm not going to be in honor or dishonor in a court. And then he goes on to say New Jersey State, SS Burlington County. Oh well, I'll just use New Jersey State in upper and lower case because that's how we do stuff. Presentment. This is a presentment, or
That is not a
it would appear
presentment.
that it's a presentment, but actually it's not. I'll tear that up for you too. Presentment. Be it known that the natural person signed below a duly empowered notary public at the request of Angel David D'Angelo, beneficiary and trustor,
He didn't
and
write on there nowhere what he did in dishonor.
colon Dorcas, or hyphen Dorcas Iris.
Oh, he sent some.
Iris is a pretty name. Dorcas is kind of
He
strange,
sent
though.
some paperwork to
I
him.
don't know. It's some last name, maiden name is Schaefer, so maybe it's from some other kind of some other kind of language or something. I don't know. It just kind of sounds kind of funny to me. Uh, colon D'Angelo Schaefer, beneficiary and truster. I'm assuming this is your wife. She probably should have took the opinion that my wife has taken, and to not get involved in any of this stuff. Apparently, you got her, convinced that you're doing the right thing because you're a super brain when it comes to stuff like this. I hope I piss you off enough to come see me. Because someone as ignorant as that, um, in care of, and then I blacken out there, as you see. I blacken out their address. I don't want to get taken down. If I knew they wouldn't take it down, I'd give them your address. Hainsport, New Jersey. Zip exempt, okay? Oh, this is one of them people, if you don't use the zip code. Did duly present on October 8th, 2023, the attachment, Christopher, in all caps, Christopher Hauser, 1099.
Hold on. Now, he mentioned about the zip code. That's another aspect of the address that there's some type of rule, or not rule, but you invoke another law by using the zip code. If you're wanting to become private, you would establish yourself as private whenever you put your address somewhere, you would put your zip code in brackets. That means disregard this, and or if you put what he was saying, this is a non-exempt zip code. I'm not real sure to give in-depth knowledge about that. I've just always just put it in brackets. But I will be having more videos and content about the postal rule because it's extremely important for any court type of purposes and for any establishing contracts and stuff like that. So I'm definitely wanting to be very knowledgeable in that area so that I can give guidance or help, others, and also know for myself what I'm doing and understand what everything means. Like I said at the beginning of this broadcast or the other one prior to this one, we'll be learning some things we thought we knew. We thought we knew what it meant, but we really don't because we've been using zip codes all our lives. And none of us, not many of us, I should say, ever knew what it meant, you know. So I still don't uh, clearly know what it means, but I have some understanding in summation of the purpose of putting the not parentheses, brackets, the square brackets around the zip code. Because if you put, okay, if you have any knowledge concerning computers and or coding of computers, coding and things of that nature, well, I don't. I have a little bit of knowledge about coding because I built websites when it first was real popular with being a content creator and website builder and all that kind of stuff and SE search engine optimization and stuff like that. I learned a little bit of coding, so I have a little bit of understanding of why you would put the uh, brackets around on either side of the zip code to like put it in a box, so to speak. It's like a little mailbox right there. And so you put it in brackets. All right. And I'm saying it's like because I'm not really sure or very definite on that, but that's how I picture it. And also is to denote that people that do deal with paper financials, they know what that means because they understand shorthand and they also, well, a lot of the languages that we still use started way back in the DOS age, or like way back in the when we had a green screen, and you had to type in codes. You had to put a C, colon slash back, whatever for your command and all that kind of stuff. I don't forgot how you do that, but to verbalize it right now, but you know what I mean. You had to type out your command in the DOS application. And if you don't know what that means, then you wouldn't be able to understand none of this, no way, until you get an understanding that when you type out a letter, okay, most machines, most, most people who deal with electronic filing, I'll put it that way to make it simple. Most people, companies, I won't say people, most companies or corporations, not companies, because company is private, corporations and trust and banking financial institutions, your bills, company utilities, companies, loan companies, car companies that sell you cars and stuff like that, unless it's a small little mom and pop, they may or may not deal with electronic funds. But my point being, because a lot of car dealerships do, but my point is that is this: if they do, it is more likely than not that they do understand shorthand and or um, some military type of coding, okay? And that's what all of this stuff is. I think a maritime coding and stuff like that. And so it has to do with uh, the law of the land versus the law of the sea and how they have integrated the systems together to basically pretend like it's a whole bunch of vessels on land moving around or, you know, docked, okay, so to speak. Not moving around, docked somewhere. And so by them um, creating a manifest with your birth, with our birth certificates, it does appear on record because you are a vessel, and all they have to do is just use words people are familiar with, okay? And so they can get by and get away with doing some things, and it's not illegal like people think because it's just a play on words. Y'all, you've heard that saying before, like, oh, I said this instead of saying that. I was trying to do a play on words, you know. And when they do it, it's like, oh, they're criminals, they're crooks, they're trying to mislead me. No, they just did a play on words. And so now that we realize that they were doing a play on words, we can do a play on words too. But we got to understand what the words mean first, and then we can play the game. Let's keep going.
A grant executed contract and noticed to release funds via telegram and proton mail, and notice to cease and desist, breach of fiduciary duty, misappropriation of funds, extortion, etc. And then the date. They did this August, September 21st, 23, August 23 through October 2nd, 23. And then they did it, put the information down here again. Okay. Now look, man. I can't cease and desist any damn thing because I never started anything to begin with, you freaking clown.
Okay.
You got to start something to
Right.
desist. Some of my responses in the comment section. We might have had some kind of dialogue, and it could have helped you straighten out whatever the frig you did. But no.
Okay, we want to stop just a few seconds and unpack that. What needs to be unpacked in those statements is this. He's saying whoever sent him this particular letter, right? And sent him a two different letters that was unapplicable to him. First of all, he's a private civilian, and you can't effect the law on a private citizen in the same manner that you do a corporation. You cannot send a private citizen a um, letter of estoppel like the man sent him, just alleging that somebody owes you and think that the postal rule applies to a natural human being. Okay? And this is why we get into persons. it does apply to their unincorporated name. Okay? It can be applicable to their unincorporated name. That's why the person put his name on the letter in all caps. Okay? But he said that they also put on the same document um, that they were the beneficiary. Okay? Now, when you're trying to create a contract, you are not the beneficiary. You're a trustor. You're a trustor, meaning you're an agent. You're a person that's working on behalf of the beneficiary. You don't be the beneficiary and operate on behalf of the beneficiary. Okay? Now, that applies to people who only have one name. I want to be clear on that. If you only have one name, that is that information that I just released is applicable when you only have one name. Because I want to be clear, if you do have a corporation or business entity, you can um, have your corporation or business, and you can act on behalf as a registered agent as well. Yes, some beans. I was cooking some beans. You can have that, or you can um, instruct the trustee to act on behalf of the beneficiary. So you would mention the beneficiary's name. So you're not acting on behalf. Under the beneficiary name, you just mention the beneficiary name that you're acting on behalf of. Hope I was clear with that.
You just want to talk some shit. When I respond, you don't want to come back with a comment. So you want to send some shit like that? Fine, okay. I'm fixing to hurt your feelings. And then they used in Christopher Allen, Alen. See that? Alen. My second name is Alan. It's actually Alan. Alan. That's how it's pronounced. And that's the second page. And then the third page finishes with this, or starts at the top with this Kimberly Hutchinson chick. Look, man, I don't even know who this lady is. Okay, nor can D'Angelo prove that I've accepted any money from him or extorted him into anything. Put that down. As the respondent, I ain't responding to shit, brother. Not a damn thing, except for your dumb ass. You're an idiot. Signed by claimant, authorized representative. Signed by claimant or claimants, authorized representative. Okay? This is how freaking confused this guy is. Colon,
beneficiary and the plaintiff's
or
representative.
hyphen, angel. There's no hyphen. There's colon, angel. No hyphen between the D and for the second name. Period. Hyphen, D'Angelo, beneficiary, or actually BENE. He did it again in all caps. BENE. He acronymed Benny, whatever that means. And then he did trustor and executive, or I'm assuming it's executive. EX EC.
Yes.
And then Dorcas, I'm assuming is his wife.
He could be.
She did the same thing, beneficiary and trustor.
And exactly.
And then they put all rights reserved without prejudice. Without prejudice, all rights reserved goes above your signature. Above it.
Oh, it does?
This guy's another one of these idiots that totally screws shit up. And then they said they are the claimant, which means they're not a beneficiary, because a beneficiary can't be a claimant. They can't be a claimant. They can't be making a claim. Their trustee has to do it when it's a trust action, like he's saying that it is, okay? And then they use the word authorized representative. You can't be a beneficiary and an authorized representative at the same time.
Right.
You can't. You're not paying attention, dude. You got an F. You got an F so far in my class. And then it says requesting. Signatures always go below in a contract. They're always the last thing. They don't go in the middle of the page and then middle of the document and then say, this is what I'm requesting. Requesting grant funds. This is somebody that got sucked into signing up for some grant. I've never once said, look, guys, do the 1099A and you can get a grant. It's not a grant. You're not getting a grant. If you were getting a grant, you would be writing a grant. You would be writing for a grant. Look up the definition of grant. These people are dumb. People like this, actually, they deserve to get hit. They really do. Grant funds provided by this claimant creditor. Oh, now you're a creditor. By way of the executed contract. Show me a contract, dude, with my signature on it. I freaking challenge you right now. Get in there and show me a contract with a signature on it. Make a video, send it to me. If you have a contract with my signature on it, I'll give you whatever it is you're asking for. Matter of fact, I'll show you how to write up the contract, and then I'll show you how to do a UCC1, and I'll show you how to turn that over to a broker, a bonds broker.
I can tell you how to do it too.
Thanks to me, and actually thanks to the Tennessee Supreme Court, y'all. Yeah. Wait till you guys finally hear when I start knocking this stuff out for you. Wait till you finally hear what happens. Let's see. And see, this is it. By way of the executed contract, security via our CQV, or Sesticate Trust. Sesticate Q. Trust. Wonder where you heard that from. Held at the Treasury as the security, which is a financial asset with cash value, pursuant to United States Code 8-102, with our signature and Social Security number, was not intended as a gift to respondent who extended themselves as trustee, or who extend themselves as trustee. However, they misappropriated the assets and funds of 1,500,000 in no sense.
Wow.
By way of misrepresentation, fraud, extortion, as set forth in the notice, while keeping our pre-tax payment of $4,000 for the process. You just lost $4,000, you freaking dumbass. You gave somebody $4,000. According to your own signed and notarized document, you gave somebody $4,000. Have you not watched any of my videos? At least, if you watched a third of them, You've heard me say, don't give anybody any money. Don't do it. You're an idiot, Angel. You gave somebody $4,000. And that somebody wasn't me. I'm assuming, though, it's this,
Chris don't need no
what's her
money.
name here?
She rich like me. Yeah,
Kimberly Hudgens, whoever the frig that is, if that's even her real name. You probably gave her some money, cash apped it, or some stupid shit like that. And you got no proof. You got no proof whatsoever that you gave me a dime. Okay? By the time limit, wait a minute. Okay. The time limit having elapsed from the timely response thereto on or by September 28th, this bitch, if she's even a one at all, could have been a dude, promised you that you'd have some money by September 28th. You got shitted, okay? Default, whereupon the notary public signed below for the reason dishonor by non-response. I haven't responded to anything. This is the first thing you sent to me, first off. By non-response, does publicly and solemnly certify the dishonor as against all parties it may concern by reason of non-response, therefore, and stipulations therein. Name. IRS. Right here. And then the address right here. IRS, Technical Support Division, Treasury UCC Contract Trust, Internal Revenue Service. Then the address. Via certified mail return receipt. And that return receipt isn't nothing like the one I got. Okay? And then it was notarized. Right? Then it was notarized. Okay. You want a response? I'm going to respond. You're a dumb son of a bitch. Is what you are. You are an idiot, and you deserve to be ripped off for $4,000. You are. You deserved it. You want a response? There's your response. This video will be dated. It'll be up on my channel. Do whatever you want to do. The thing about this, if you'd have done this the right way, I would have showed you how I could have helped you got your money. All I'd had to do is write a contract. I'll take the hit for you, bro. Yeah. I'll write up a contract saying you didn't get paid. Then I'll show you how to do UCC1. And then I'll show you how to take that contract and that UCC1 to Fidelity and create a bond that you can turn around and sell as soon as you create it. But no, you're a freaking idiot. You deserve a good tongue thrashing, and that's what I did. This ran on a little longer than I expected, but look, people, do not give anybody any money. Anybody any money. I don't care if I call you up on FaceTime and say, hey, man, give me some money. This is Chris Hauser. Give me some money. I'll help you do whatever. Even if it's me. Even if you come to my freaking house, which you better not do. And then say, hey, man, give me some money. If I say give me some money, don't freaking do it. I've never asked for a damn dime, and I'm not going to. I don't need to. But you're an idiot, Angel. You're an idiot. You didn't listen to me at all. And the bad thing is you're an idiot with some money. If you give this Kimberly Lee, whatever her freaking name is, $4,000, you got some money.
Right.
You got some money. And the scripture says, a fool in his money is shortly parted.
Mm-hmm.
You got beat out of $4,000 because you're a fool. All right, buddy. Have a good night. Hey, and y'all, I know you guys like to hear me rant every once in a while, but and I like to rant sometimes. But other than that, y'all have a peaceful night.
Thank you. All right. Let's see who's online with me. Oh man, we done ran into over a little and over an hour. That'll be all for now. Stay up.